Hey guys, it's me again, and I will continue the series of my stupid creation with episode 3. So, if you haven't watched episode 2, maybe you didn't know that I've mentioned the fact that I will not be talking about any of my 2016 creation because they're fucked up. Like I'm saying, like straight up fucked up. But of course, after I thought through again, I think that I have decided to openly discuss to you about the most fucked up creation in on my list. Yeah, and this is the reason why. I don't think that I don't think that a 13-year-old like me at that time could think of a project like that. I know I was emo, but I didn't expect myself to be this emo. So I didn't have a specific name for that creation. Again, I need to start learning to name things because they deserve a name, okay? So I don't know about you, but 2016 was really a crime fiction fantasy, a crime fiction or sci-fi year, and I'm just happens to be really into Death Note, and suddenly I got myself into a rotation of find what's of researching about crime fiction. And then I did some research about real life crimes, and I happened to come across these two specific events that got my attention. So the first one is the case of the Frog Boys in Korea. Now, the case of the Frog Boys happened in 1993 in Daegu, and five boys at the age from 9 to from 6 to about 10, they went missing, and about in the 2010, yes, 2010, they found their bodies, and how do I say this? They couldn't identify the cause of their death. Many people think it is because of temperature drops, but many people think that it is because they were murdered, because the place where they were found were pretty close to the neighborhood. So I don't know, but they really got my attention because they even made a movie, two movies out of it, and I watched one of them, and I have to say though, it was pretty good. And now the second case that I find myself really interested at, not a case, a specific person. You may need to Google this guy because his story seems too traumatizing to be true. Albert Fish. Similar? He is known as a child rapist and a cannibal. Yep, what a great combo. Like Hannibal Lecter. Who? Who? And he had one of his victims is Grace Budd, and of course, like every other victim, she was killed. And this is the worst thing. He sent a letter to her family explaining detailed how he killed her and how he had planned to do things with her, but didn't get the chance to do everything. In general, it was so traumatizing. There was a vocalized song based on that case. Actually, I know Albert Fish through that vocalized song. You might need to check The Secret of Hysteria if you want to understand more. That song is as traumatizing as Albert Fish. So of course, I think that after researching some pretty damn insane things, I lost my sanity and I came up with this crazy fiction crap. How do I say this? I seem to really love to involve myself into politics. It's just a weird thing. So the plot is pretty simple, of course. Like as always, there are a few cases of children going missing, and not just going missing. There were like like how do I explain this? There were suicide letters left behind. So maybe the police or the parents will believe that they committed suicide. And this has raised like a awareness among awareness among public that maybe children are forming like a secret cult that encourages suicide. Believe me, it does not involve the two other cases, but believe me, I'll get to the point. Now here's the problem though. Yes, those children were missing, but no, they are not dead. they're completely fine, but they're kidnapped into an asylum. And guess who's the owner of the asylum? The culprit. But this is the thing though. I've watched many documentaries about police around the world, and they seem to do a pretty good job in investigating because they at least have some clues, and only if that case was like super difficult or maybe supernatural involved, they wouldn't find any other clues. But in this specific situation, the police couldn't find any other similarities besides children having suicide note beside them. And why? Because of it? Because the head of the asylum happens to be a really, really, really famous, rich politician. And you might be thinking, oh, so you mean that he bribed the police? Exactly. What's the other way? This is just like Limit. Money blinds the eyes of politics. And I can explain. But that is not like the main plot. That's not the main point of the plot. The main point is the children who are kidnapped are from the age of 9 to 15. You might think that I'm like a crazy person. Believe me, I do. I'm afraid of myself. Like, how the hell did I come up with that stupid crap at that moment? Anyway, let's continue. The children, they were kidnapped to an asylum, and of course they had food, they had drinks, they were allowed to play around the asylum, but they were not allowed to go outside. And of course, children, they were afraid, but some maybe had different reaction towards things, and together it created chaos. But this is the thing though. Every night the culprit would come to a child's room and tormented her or him physically and mentally. And each episode will be focusing on the process of how that child, from maybe a normal child to a traumatized kid. And that would be the point that I focus on. The fact that the money blinding the eyes of politics would be like one of the side points, but the main point is that children during the process of growing up, they experience so much trauma. They experience a lot of traumatizing things. But of course, they had time to recover. So what happens when they don't have time to recover? Of course, they fell to insanity. Yeah, I will never ever even think about this creation ever again. Like, what the hell? And this is the thing though. I wrote the ending for this fic, whatever you call it. And the culprit wasn't even exposed. But I'm like, Linda, you crazy little bee. What did I think? What the hell did I think of at that moment? Like, the culprit wasn't even exposed? What? This is why I don't want to mention the 2016 creation. It's fucked up, unorganized, and extremely dark, up to the point where I realized that I might have some mental problem. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and of course, if you are not satisfied with this specific creation, the next one will satisfy you, because episode 4 is about that specific creation of 2017. Thank you guys for watching.